Good day, everyone. I am Jasmine Kawa and I will be your teacher today. You can call me Teacher Jasmine. So, for today's lesson, what we are going to discuss is about the history of theater. So, first of all, what exactly is theater? So I have two definitions here of theater. So the first is theater as building and second is theater as a form of art. So a theater is a building with a stage in it on which plays, shows, and other performances takes place. So theater is a collaborative form of performing art that uses live performers, usually actors or actresses, to present the experience of a real or imagined event before a live audience in a specific place, often a stage. So the performers may communicate this experience to the audience through combinations of gestures, speech, song, music, and dance. So, we believe that theater began at 8500 BC with primitive tribal dance and religious rituals. So, they were for initiation to teach tribal customs to young boys reaching manhood, to illustrate war, to inspire bravery in warriors, to share stories, to imitate events of hunt or battles, and to preserve history. And also for religious reasons to appease the spirits that primitive man felt controlled his world. So by 3100 BC, Egyptian celebrations and religious rites were the primary theater. So in 1887 BC, we saw the first Egyptian passion play. So by 600 BC, Greek tragic theater was established. So what is tragic theater? It is based on human suffering and mainly the terrible or sorrowful events that befall a main character. By the 6th century in Greece, they had comedy competitions. Greek theater expanded in the 5th century BC with Thespis, the inventor of tragedy. So Greek theater is a form of performance art where a limited number of actors and the chorus conduct a tragedy or comedy based on the works of ancient playwrights. So Greek theater typically has its theme stories from Greek mythology or comedic situations where real ancient Greek politicians and others are made fun of. So it was considered the birth of modern theater. So Western actors today refer to themselves as thespians. So Aeschylus wrote three tragedies on a single theme, creating the trilogy. Sophocles is credited with adding a third actor. Tragic dilemmas are worked out at a more personal level. And Aeschylus dealt with great public themes. In the 4th century BC, theater expanded. Rake auditoriums so audiences could see better, and we saw the first Roman theatrical performances. The 2nd and 3rd centuries, we saw Roman comedies. So Roman comedies dramatize social and cultural values and tells us some of the things that were considered funny in the ancient world, as well as giving us a version of Latin as spoken by people on the street. Plots borrowed from the Greek drama. A wooden theater was built in Rome in 179 BC. In the 1st century BC, we saw Roman amphitheaters built in Pompeii and the Colosseum built in Rome. Lots of mime and mimicry. Actors or slaves are no longer members of society. So from the 1st to 9th century AD, the church and the theater were involved. Christians were forbidden to attend the theater in the church as excommunicates actors. We also saw the rise of theater in China in 618 AD. Traveling circus provided live entertainment by 800 BC, and the origins of medieval theater could be traced to 925 AD. So by the 10th century, we had liturgical drama. A liturgical drama is a type of play acted within or near the church and relating stories from the Bible and of the saints. Although they had their roots in the Christian liturgy, such plays were not performed as essential parts of a standard church service. After the Roman Empire collapsed, theater was not part of life. Used dramatic effects in Easter liturgy. Scenes were enacted during church services, and some were quite boisterous. So from the 12th the 16th century, we saw mystery plays and religious drama outside the church in the language of the people. Narratives tell the Bible story of the lives and torments of saints, and we see miracles in Europe. We saw open-air platforms alongside one at the side of a square little house or stages were set up for different scenes. So in the 14th century to the present, we saw kabuki. Kabuki is a traditional Japanese popular drama with singing and dancing performed in a highly stylized manner. No, originally Chinese refined theatrical style of production and performance. All male actors, small chorus and orchestra, sing and dance, scenes from legends, slow and solemn, great passion. So dimensions of the wooden stage, placing of scenic props never change. Kabuki is a popular style mainstream of Japanese theater. We saw Eucharistic plays or processionals. The Spanish had carts with scenery, seeing a succession of audiences. And we saw the first English plays in the 1375 AD. By the 16th century AD with Roman revivals and intermezzi. Festive occasions, chords of Italian princes with lavish music added between the acts, spectacular stage effects, beautiful costumes, and much singing and dancing. The intermezzi, an example, the heaven was made up of clouds, a beautiful garden, rocky cave guarded by dragons, and a sea with mermaids, dolphins, and ships. In the 16th to 18th century BC, the commedia dell'arte or the comedy is a trade. We also saw the London theaters 1576 to 1599, and most famous there was the Globe Theatre where Shakespeare's plays were presented. The 17th and 18th century, we saw the Italian stage and scenery in the birthplace of opera. So, the first women appeared on stage in 1660. And the first American theater was built in Williamsburg, Virginia, and the first play was performed in New York in 1732. So the 19th and 20th century, we saw vaudeville, the heart of American show business. So that's the history of theater. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from me. Once again, this is Teacher Jasmine. Good day, everyone!